All right, it's that time of year where we all reevaluate our financial goals and the tools that we're using, which means today we're breaking down the top 7 best bank accounts in 2025, starting with number 7, and I can't believe I'm saying this, national banks. I'm not talking about a specific product here, and personally, I'm allergic to large national banks and literally get hives just driving by a Wells Fargo branch. However, not all of them suck. And if you need to move or access large sums of money, then as much as I love my bank in the sky, which we will get to in a second, there is a time and place for one of these large national banks. And my personal favorite would be the Capital One 360 checking and savings account. Unlike their national counterparts like Chase and Wells Fargo, who pay pathetic rates on your savings, Capital One has maintained competitive rates around 3 to 4% at the time of recording this video, although those rates are slowly coming down. But they also have some more modern features like no fees across the board, a massive network of fee-free ATMs, among other things, so it wouldn't be my first choice personally, but if you are looking to go with a large national bank, then Capital One would be my pick there. Now, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, number 6 is Current. We've talked about specific Current features many times in previous videos, and while it certainly isn't the most feature-rich platform on today's list, there is something to be said for the simplicity, and I'm also a huge fan of their Current Credit Builder Card, which is a product that only a few banks really do well, and essentially allows you to build a solid credit score while minimizing your exposure to high interest debt and some of the other negatives that can come with mishandling traditional credit card products. Of course, they also have all of the standard modern features that you'd expect from a bank in the sky these days, like getting paid up to 2 days early, no fees, a well-designed mobile app, and a very competitive 4% APY in your savings. However, that is capped at just $6,000. So if you're sitting on a larger pile of money, then you might want to go with one of these next options. By the way, if you do want to sign up for any of the platforms that I mentioned in today's video, and in some cases earn yourself several $100s from welcome bonuses, then I'll leave links for some of my favorites down in the description, which does help support my channel, and I really do appreciate that. But no peeking because my top picks are down there. So before we get to those, we'll move past number 5 pretty quickly, but I always like to add it to this list each year because it is a viable option, and that would be your local credit union. Again, not talking about a specific product here, and no, they're not gonna have all of the well-designed apps in most cases, and are generally going to lack those more modern features. But having an account with your local credit union could be convenient, and there are still some cases where you might need to go into a physical branch, and just having that relationship could come in handy when it comes time to apply for a mortgage or something like that. Plus, the APY that you earn on your savings from a credit union is generally going to be a lot higher compared to your local bank. So again, if you still want to go into a physical location sometimes, then your local credit union might be a great option. All right, those first few are a great place to get started depending on your situation, but these next 4 are the heavy hitters and the ones that I am personally using to manage my own money in 2025. Starting with number 4 on our list, which is the Wealthfront cash account. I've talked about Wealthfront for years, and more specifically their automated investing platform, which I am a huge fan of and personally use for my IRA and other investment accounts. But their cash account is criminally underrated in my opinion, not only because of its uncapped 4% APY in your savings, but amazing features like 2 ATM fee reimbursements even for out-of-network ATMs each month, up to $8 million in FDIC insurance, and their new instant withdrawal feature that allows you to quickly move your money. And of course, the ability to set up automated transfers to completely automate not only your investments, but also your savings and bill payments as well. Overall, I'm just a huge fan of Wealthfront as a whole, and I'd actually say that a majority of my net worth is probably with this platform, and it always shocks me that it isn't talked about more, so definitely one worth checking out. Now, that brings us to number 3, which is actually a new one on this list for 2025, but by no means a new platform, and that would be Ally Bank. Chances are you've heard of Ally before, and they really were one of the pioneers of this whole online banking thing. But I've omitted them from this list in the past simply for more modern, flashy platforms. However, I do think for the average individual, Ally does a fantastic job of bridging that gap between traditional brick and mortar banks and this whole bank in the sky concept that I know some people are still a little uncomfortable with. They currently pay 3.8% on your savings, and their checking and savings account as a whole are perfectly adequate, but the main reason that I've added them to this list at number 3 is their abundance of account options that might be more and more interesting to you as interest rates continue to fall on savings accounts. For example, they not only offer money market accounts, but also several types of CDs or certificates of deposit, not to mention their investing and lending options. And you know that I'm just a huge fan of having everything under one platform. So if you're looking to have more account options than just your checking and savings accounts, then Ally is definitely worth a look. All right, our top 2 banks probably won't come as a surprise to anyone that's been watching my channel for years, but before we get to the checking account that I'm personally using the most in 2025, number 2 on our list is none other than Chime. These last 2 options really come down to personal preference, and I say that because, as I've said many times before, the best part about Chime is really its simplicity. The app isn't cluttered with ads for other products or endless flashy features that you probably are never going to use. It's just simple and easy to learn, and I think for a lot of users, especially those that are new to this whole online banking concept, that's really important. Don't be fooled though, they still have an abundance of modern features, including fee-free overdraft protection with SpotMe, a really great credit builder product similar to the current credit builder that we talked about earlier, and not only the ability to withdraw cash at their large network of fee-free ATMs, but also the ability to deposit cash fee-free at a ton of Walgreens locations all over the US. I've personally had a Chime account for years at this point, and while it's not where I'm currently keeping a majority of my liquid cash, I do think that if you want a simple, easy to use platform, especially if you want an app on your phone, then it's tough to go wrong with Chime. But that of course means that coming in at number 1 for my favorite bank account in 2025 is, no shocker, SoFi. And I'll be honest, it's not even close in my opinion. Now, I want to be clear that SoFi is not as simple and sleek as Chime or Current, but that's only because they offer pretty much everything that you could possibly ask for from a fintech company these days. 4% in your savings, no fee overdraft coverage, $2 million in FDIC insurance, easy to use bill pay features, savings vaults that allow you to easily divide up your savings for different financial goals, not to mention all of the account options outside of banking, from investment accounts, a great beginner credit card, endless lending options, and partnerships with other financial service companies, allowing you to truly take care of everything personal finance from one app on your phone. And it just continues to get better and better year after year. Other than their lending options, I use literally every single account and product that SoFi offers. I've kept hundreds of thousands of dollars of my own money with them for years at this point, and I have no intention of switching anytime soon. Their customer service is unmatched, their joint account is fantastic for my wife and I, and it makes it super easy for us to budget things using SoFi Relay, and my favorite thing is they actually listen to their customers. Users asked for Zelle integration, and they added it. We asked for wire transfers, and they just recently added it. And part of the reason that they're able to be more nimble than their competition is that SoFi is actually a bank. Remember, most fintech companies, including some of the ones that we've talked about today, are partnering with a bank behind the scenes, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it does make things a little bit more complicated. But a few years ago, SoFi actually got approval and became their own bank, which does give them a slight edge over their competition and makes them more nimble. I could go on for a while, and I'll probably make a full updated review on SoFi for 2025, but there you have it. That is our top 7 list of the best bank accounts in 2025, at least in my opinion. Again, if you do want to sign up for any of the products that we talked about, and in some cases net yourself several $100s in welcome bonuses and help support these videos, then I'll leave links for those down in the description, which I really do appreciate a lot. But let me know what bank you're using to reach your financial goals in 2025. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.